Nobody expected this team to become one of the biggest stories of the World Cup's opening week, but after what happened in this match, an entire group now has a serious and immediate problem. One team arrived at this tournament carrying supreme confidence. The other arrived carrying something equally powerful, a burning point to prove. And by the final whistle, everything had completely changed. The craziest part, almost nobody is talking about the single moment that decided this entire game. Before this match even started, most fans were focused on bigger nations, bigger stars, and bigger headlines. But while everyone was looking somewhere else, South Korea quietly delivered a statement that could reshape this entire tournament. It all started with one decision, a decision that looked completely insignificant at first, but that is not the real story. The real story is what that decision triggered over the next 90 minutes. To understand why this match matters so much, we need to go back to the opening minutes, because what happened next exposed a clear weakness, created real chaos, and eventually produced one of the most important results of the 2026 World Cup so far. And it started with something almost nobody inside that stadium saw coming. Coming into this World Cup, most of the conversation was about the traditional favorites, the teams that were expected to dominate. The household names, South Korea, weren't at the center of that conversation. And Czechia, they came into this match believing they had the quality to take points in the early stages of the group. But from the very first whistle, something felt different. Korea weren't setting up to absorb pressure and hit on the counter. They weren't playing to survive 90 minutes. They were playing to control the game. They were playing to dominate. And that shift in mentality, that's where this story really begins. The opening 20 minutes were intense, relentlessly intense. Korea pressed high up the pitch, denying Czechia any time or space to build from the back. Every loose ball became a battle. Every transition turned into a sprint. Czechia struggled to settle. Their passing was rushed. Their structure looked shaky under pressure. Then came the first major warning sign. Korea began exploiting the space behind the Czech defensive line, and suddenly those defenders looked deeply uncomfortable. The crowd could feel it. The momentum was building. The pressure was turning into something real. And the question on everyone's mind was simple: how long could Czechia hold on? Then the breakthrough arrived. Korea found the back of the net, and the goal completely changed the atmosphere inside the stadium. Now, Czechia had a decision to make: continue playing cautiously and hope to grow into the game, or push forward, take risks, and accept the danger of leaving space open at the back. They chose to attack, and that's exactly where this match became fascinating. Because while Czechia started creating genuine chances going forward, they also began leaving dangerous spaces behind them, spaces that Korea were smart enough to target. What started as a controlled performance had suddenly turned into an open end-to-end football match. This was arguably the most important phase of the entire match. Czechia began fighting their way back into it. The pressure increased. The crowd sensed the momentum shifting. Every single attack carried the weight of a potential equalizer. And what happened next shocked everyone watching. Czechia found a way back into the game. One moment, one chance, one finish. At 1-1, everything changed. The confidence returned to the Czech players. Korea suddenly had serious questions to answer. Would they panic? Would they retreat and settle for a draw? Or would they show the character of a team with genuine ambitions at this tournament? That's where the real test began. Great teams respond under pressure. That's what separates them from the rest. And that's exactly what South Korea did. Instead of retreating deep and protecting the draw, they kept pushing. They kept taking risks. They kept believing in the game plan. Then came the decisive moment. One attack, one opportunity, one clinical finish. Korea restored their lead, and this time, Czechia simply did not have enough time left to recover. Watch the reaction from the Korean players in that moment. Pure unfiltered emotion. Because they knew exactly what this goal meant, not just for this match, but for their entire World Cup journey. The lead was theirs, and they were not letting go. This victory wasn't important simply because of the 3 points. It was important because of what it revealed about this South Korea team. They looked organized, they looked confident, and most importantly, they looked genuinely fearless. In previous tournaments, Korea often relied on moments of individual brilliance to stay in matches. A flash of quality, a set piece, a counterattack. In this match, They controlled long stretches of the game themselves. They imposed their style. They dictated terms. That is a significant difference. And with more difficult matches still ahead in Group A, this performance sends a message to every team watching. South Korea are not here simply to make up the number. They are here to compete, and after tonight, no one should be surprised if they do exactly that. So maybe the biggest takeaway from Korea's 21 victory over Czechia isn't the result itself. It's the fact that this team looks genuinely transformed, more confident, more organized, more dangerous than they've been in years. The question now is simple, and I want you to think about it seriously. Was tonight just one good performance on a good night? Or are we watching the beginning of one of the genuine surprise stories of the 2026 World Cup? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want full breakdowns of every game from Group A, make sure you're subscribed because things in this group are only going to get more interesting from here.